Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Ascension Connections. This is a brand new space where I am focused solely on ascension relationships, ascension connections to yourself, to a sacred partner if you are in sacred partnership, other relationships, soul family, or source God itself. The reason I'm doing this is because I have been guided since I began my channel doing readings to really move towards ascension energies. Now, I've always been on the sacred union path of ascension myself, so those are the readings that I kind of started out with, but as you guys know, listening to the special ascension messages, those have expanded. And so it's not just about your divine counterpart, although your divine counterpart is the catalyst for your expansion and your growth, hence the sacred union path to ascension, but it's about ascension and the expansive nature of that growth and the ascension of the world, of the planet as a whole. So if you guys have been listening to my ascension special messages playlist that I have over there, all the playlist is linked in the description box below. This is going to be a continuation of those, and I'm going to be doing more of these front-facing channelings. I'll be pulling some cards, but these are going to be more of these front-facing channelings that I've been doing for the past 3 years. It just seems like it's really important. It feels like it's time to be stepping into the next level, just really owning that. Since I began doing readings, those higher level messages are really what's been coming through. That's not to say I don't love doing the divine masculine and divine feminine check-ins, but that's really where I've always been called to understanding sacred partners and divine love from that higher level of ascension and the purpose of ascension, the higher perspective of how ascension impacts relationships as a whole, connections as a whole, especially the connection to yourself. So we're going to be shifting a little bit. I hope that you guys hang in here with me. I hope that you join the new channel and stay tuned. So this reading is going to be uploaded on both places, but going forward, the special channel messages, these readings that I'm doing here are going to be on the Ascension Connections channel. I'll still be doing Sacred Union energy updates here on this channel, as well as Ascension relationship readings, but I wanted a special container, a special place for these messages because I don't want them to get lost in the shuffle. They are very important, very vital, and all of the older messages, they're still on my old channel. All the older messages are still in the playlist. I'll link that in the description box for you below. Okay, part of the reason why I'm shifting gears a little bit, not only because I've been called to, not only because this has been where everything's been leading for me, my work has been leading me over the course of the past 3 years, if you've been with me from the very beginning, but it's because this is where the collective is heading. We are heading to understand, to a place where we understand that sacred partnership is not about the other person, and it's not about the physical reality of relationship. That's the old template, the old paradigm that we really are moving out of. We are moving into an energy of sacred awareness. And that's really what sacred partnership is all about, and I love how they just coined that. Sacred awareness, awareness of the self, awareness of the other as part of yourself, and awareness of Source God as part of yourself, and that is that Trinity energy that births a new reality. So I want to circle back and talk about some of the energies that we have talked about and channeled on my Instagram, Facebook, community posts over on my main page, my main YouTube channel. A lot of you have been experiencing some changes and shifts within yourself and within your connections with your counterparts, if you are in sacred partnerships. So take it as it resonates for you, because, you know, you could be in a sacred partnership, or you could be just doing this work for yourself. It's all for yourself. Some people are just, like I said, on the sacred union path to ascension, in that they're doing the ascension process, continuing the ascension process with a sacred partner. The shift within ourselves has been palpable, to the point where you can't even imagine who you were before. It is so hard for you to think back to even a few months ago and say, oh my gosh, that's who I was. That's the version of myself. The shift is so dramatic and so profound within the self that it feels like that was a lifetime ago. It feels like that was another person, even another, not just a version of yourself, but even another incarnation. You have shifted so profoundly that it's like, you know, there's no going back. And that has shifted your connection. Now, there are two camps that you might fall into. Your connection might have been a catalyst for your growth and your awakening to really show you more about yourself and where you needed to expand. It might have guided you in the direction of other soul connections, soulmates. I don't like the labels. I don't like twin flames, twin souls, or soulmates. Those are just labels. However, when we're talking about soul connections, we're talking about real divine love, real sacred partnerships. So take it as it resonates for you. Don't cling to the label, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So you're moving in because you're in alignment and in the energy of divine love, especially for yourself, feeling the connection to Source God itself. Mother, Father, God, that source energy, feeling that so profoundly within yourself, really anchored that in. And that is the balance of the masculine and feminine energy within you. Source God is within you. And the masculine and feminine energy within you is the masculine and feminine energy of Source God itself. And I have never channeled that before, so that's really fascinating. It's the masculine and feminine energy of Source God itself. Now, we had distorted that through our illusions of separation, through our various incarnations, past lifetimes, having a dramatic effect on how we are in this lifetime, because we bring forth a lot of that karma to be cleared in this lifetime. We came into this lifetime, into this time and space, right here, right now, this present moment, this present incarnation, in order to understand that we needed to clear all those templates, because this was the time of ascension. We did not come here without purpose. We came here knowing that we were going to be going through ascension as a collective, and as a collective we are individually a part of that ascension. We are individually going through ascension as a whole. And so ascension is all about higher awareness, shifting in consciousness. And how do you shift in consciousness? But you shift within yourself, clearing out the karma, clearing out the toxic energy, clearing out the negativity, clearing out the programming, the conditioning, the beliefs, the mindsets, the habits, the addictions that don't serve that higher consciousness, that don't serve the higher self. Allowing yourself to heal where you need to heal, including past lifetimes, including past incarnations that have carried forth, including ancestral and lineage, in order to shift into higher versions of yourself, integrating the ego, not killing the ego. The ego has a purpose, but we integrate the ego so that it quiets, so that it's not second-guessing us. It doesn't need to be in that protective survivor mode anymore. That was the old template. That was the old paradigm of survival. Now we're in the energy of thriving because we are trusting God, source energy. We are moving out of the template of separation, the illusion of separation, and into the energy of unity consciousness, into the energy of oneness, where you're connected to yourself, you're connected to source, you're connected to others, and recognizing that we are all beautiful, unique threads as soul, making up this amazing tapestry of creation. Beautiful, unique threads in the tapestry of creation that came to me a long, long time ago as a metaphor, and it's the best way that I know how to explain unity consciousness. It's not that everybody is a robot, that everybody is the same. You are a unique soul imprint of a unique facet of God's source energy itself, making up the whole of creation. We are all part of that creation. That's what unity consciousness is all about. So we are releasing the separateness. We are releasing the division. We are releasing anywhere where we don't understand that we are truly, truly one. Unique facets, unique threads, unique individual soul selves. That's what makes it so beautiful. But we are all one because we are all part of creation. We are all part of God's source energy. And so we are learning how to quiet the ego that needed to survive and protect, and moving into the energy of thriving, moving into the energy of soul, moving into the era of soul, listening to the soul self. The ego does its job. The ego is identity. The ego is saying, this is who I am, having this human experience. But soul rises higher and says, yes, This is Susan in this incarnation, but Susan is multidimensional. She has been so much more. She has been, you know, other names, other beings, other lifetimes. She is multidimensional. She is multifaceted. So much more. There's a depth there. There is so much more. Ego clings to the shallow. Soul understands the depth. And so when you integrate the ego with the soul, you recognize that, yes, you know, you can be everything that you want to be in this physical incarnation, because we cannot ignore the life experience that we're having. We can have our wants, we can have our likes, we can have our desires, we can have our dislikes, you know, our what we prefer, our preferences. That is part of what makes us who we are in this incarnation, our life experience. What do we want to create within this life experience, this beautiful world of experience, this beautiful world of creation? But soul is the one that says that anything is possible, that we are limitless. Soul is the one that says we are one with the universe, and as one with the universe, we are limitless. So it's integration. And so we have been on this wonderful journey of transformation and ascension, and the higher we rise and the more we shift, the more we transform, the more we know that there is no going back. And that transformation, that shift within, has been so palpable that even if you wanted to go back, you couldn't. Now, that's not to say that sometimes we don't slip into old mindsets and patterns, but we're becoming more and more aware, and you can feel that old energy. When old energy tries to take hold, you can feel it and you can easily transmute it. That is the shift. And so with that, there's been kind of a crossroads within the collective, where some are going towards other connections, soulmate connections, because that is where they're being guided. Others are really shifting in their connections with who they thought was their sacred partner. It is their sacred partner. It is shifting. The connection within is shifting. There is no right and wrong on this journey. There is no template. We are doing it. We are paving the way. There is no template. Nobody has done this before. So there is no right and wrong. You create your own blueprint. We are writing the story as we experience it. You have to let it unfold. And that's what we have been doing these past several months, is we have been seeing the magic of that unfolding. Really releasing the template of control. Releasing the template of feeling like we need to have expectations or manipulate things, or have a hold on how it all pans out. This is an energy of trust. This is an energy of faith. And the more we release any fear and uncertainty, which are egoic programs about the future, the more we anchor into the present moment, the now moment, the more we get to create the future. I want to repeat this because it feels really important. A long time ago, they had me bring out one of my pyramids here, and they said, this point here is your present moment. It is your now moment. This point in time and space. And what you've been doing on this ascension journey is calling back all fragmented pieces of yourself, calling it all into this time and space, this now moment, so that the past is what you're letting go of. You created previous now moments in the past based on previous versions of yourself, but that's not serving the now that you are through your transformation. Serve your past self. They were experiences and lessons that you needed for that past version of yourself to continue to evolve, but you don't need that now. That's why it's so important to keep letting go of the past. Not an easy thing to do in this human incarnation, but this is what we are learning. This is what we are transmuting. This is how we are transforming and shifting into higher consciousness, to let go and be in the now moment, be that conscious creator in the now moment. So we're letting go of the past. Again, it's a process, so be very, very compassionate towards yourself. Don't focus too much on the future, because the future is constantly changing. You guys may have actually been feeling palpable timeline shifts, where it almost feels very, especially the month of May and June, the months of May and June, we felt this. It felt very imbalanced. It was because we were timeline hopping. There was a lot of integration that was happening, a lot of anchoring in from these inner transformations. And so we were kind of going back and forth in energy, and as such we were seeing very strange things in our physical realities and feeling very off balance within. It's because we were shifting timelines. It's because it was like 1 minute we were here, 1 minute we were there. It's because it all needed to anchor and it all needed to ground. July is an energy of expansion, moving into August, the 8/8 portal, even as far into the fall energy, and the new year is going to be just opening up to expansion, anchoring in the higher timeline. You really created a shift over the last several months within yourself, a transformation that had you moving into higher timelines, and it just felt a little bit off balance because it felt like you were in one world, 1 foot in one world and 1 foot in the next. And I'm being shown the oh boy, I think it's this deck. So I'm gonna, it's the Between Two Worlds card, and I feel like it might be this deck. And you guys know I like my visuals. If they're showing me something, I want to show it to you. So bear with me 1 minute. This might not be the deck, it might be the other one. Yep, this is it. I knew it. Okay. See, that's the ego second guessing, doubting. Don't doubt. It's this energy. This is where we were. We still had 1 foot kind of in the old energy, the old world. While we could feel it, we could feel the new right there on the horizon. We could feel the new energy right there on the horizon. Well, these past few weeks, this July, we have fully entered into the new, leaving the past behind. That is a palpable shift that I said in the beginning of this recording that you've been feeling within yourself. The old feels firmly put in the past. That's not to say that things won't come up, layers won't come up, but your energy is different. And so you are able to more easily transmute, clear, heal whatever does come up. If there's anything that's still kind of stuck in the subconscious, it's not pulling you down, it's not draining your energy, it's not changing your energy, because you are firmly anchored into the new higher consciousness, so you're able to easily transmute because you're in the new energy. But this is what we have been feeling, kind of off balance, because we were shifting timelines so much, still getting ready to anchor into the new higher timeline. And look at this, they just called me to this. He's wearing a crown. I can't for the life of me when I'm channeling remember what animal this is. I keep wanting to call it like an ostrich, and I know it's not that. It starts with a P. It's not a pelican. Lord help me, I can't remember when I'm channeling. I just go blank. But this animal is wearing the crown. And look at how regal. Look at how sure he is, looking into the future, stepping into the future. That's where we are now because of the shift within ourselves. And if you're still going through that process of that shift, know that this is what's to come. This anchoring in is what's to come. Okay, so we have been going through massive, massive changes, massive shifts within ourselves. Anchoring into the present moment. From this present moment, you create your future. From this now moment, the more you anchor in and ground your energy into the present moment, being aware of the present moment, calling your energy back to the present moment, the more you create, consciously create your future. And the more we shift into higher consciousness, letting go of the old past toxic, negative energy, low vibrational energy, the more we let go of that dense energy, the lower consciousness, the more we shift, what's happening is any future timeline that is of that same low vibration fades away. And they're showing it to me as like strands. So from this present point in time, you have an infinite number of time strands, infinite number of timelines that you can choose from the present moment, from the choices and the energy that you choose to be in the present moment. So they show it to me as strands. And what happens is, if you're in a lower vibration, well, you can choose. There are timelines that are possible for you in higher vibrations, but you have to choose to shift into a higher vibration first in the now moment. And if you're anchored into a higher vibration, into a higher consciousness in the now moment, then guess what? Any lower vibrational time strands or timelines fade away. So all that remains are higher timelines. I hope that makes sense. Do feel free to go back to listen to some of the other teachings that I have in that playlist. All of this is discussed there, so make sure that you're not missing any of that. But this is what we're doing. And so, especially for sacred partners, especially for those who connect to the term twin flame, sacred partners, divine love, sacred connections, what you've been doing by releasing the past version of you, you have been releasing the journey as a whole. When you embarked on this journey of sacred partnership with another person, I'm specifically speaking to those in partnership with another person as the catalyst for your growth and expansion. And that's all relationships are, but these sacred partners do it in the energy of unconditional love. They do it in the energy of complete oneness. It is that one soul. It is the masculine and feminine energy embodiment. And I teach this on the channel. I talk about this on the channel as well, in those messages. We all contain masculine and feminine energy within us. We have a predominant masculine or feminine energy that feels most natural to us. For example, I feel most natural in my feminine energy, but over the years I had to step into my masculine energy, and it became over-masculinated. It became, in a sense, distorted. And so through my healing journey, I've been learning how to step into the flow of receiving, the flow of love, just, letting go of control, still having that masculine energy. I wouldn't be able to do what I do with my businesses and life if I didn't have that masculine energy within me. But it's about balancing out. And it's about, for me, feminine energy is really about connecting and trusting my intuition. But you balance that out with your masculine energy within of taking action, taking leadership. When you're in sacred partnership, you have a person embodying the other part of you, embodying the masculine or feminine principle that also exists within you. So the more you balance out your energies, the more your person balances out their energies. Now, they might have experienced it a little bit differently. They might have suppressed their feminine energy. They might have suppressed their masculine energy. So I talk about this. I don't want to go deep into this because there's so much to cover here today. But we talk a lot about this on the channel with masculine and feminine energies. The masculine energy within you, or the feminine energy within you, is embodied in the other person, in your sacred partner. So that when you come together in partnership, in relationship, you have the feminine embodiment and the masculine embodiment. You have both within you. That's the balance. But if you're a masculine and a masculine, you just butt heads. You just have that fight for control. It's disharmonious. It's unbalanced. If you're both embracing the feminine principle within you, again, it's disharmonious. It's unbalanced, because neither of you are taking action. Neither of you are taking the lead. But when you are in your predominant energy, and it's going to switch throughout the day. It's going to, as you live your life, sometimes you'll be in your masculine energy, sometimes you'll be in your feminine energy. But you do have a predominant, and the more you balance that out within, the more awareness you have of your masculine and feminine principles within, the more you're able to be in your predominant energy. That is to say, the more aware you are of yourself and how you're reacting. Are you reacting in a place that feels natural to you, or in a place that doesn't? Are you reacting or acting in a place that feels like you're connecting to your intuition, like you're connecting to your receiving, like you're connecting to your the flow of life? And that's feminine principle. Are you connecting more to taking action, taking the lead, your logic mindset? That's masculine principle. For me, my most natural state of being is being with the flow, trusting my intuition, honoring my intuition, and just allowing things to flow. But my masculine energy within didn't always feel comfortable with that because, again, I had been over-masculinated. I needed to take care of myself. I needed to, especially when I was sick, I needed to fight to survive. So that was when my masculine energy took over. But that has been healing over the course of this journey. And the more that I heal, the more my counterpart heals. And the more he heals, the more I heal, and vice versa. That is the sacred partnership, that you're doing this together. So the masculine and feminine energy within you, even though you have a predominant embodiment, you see that reflected in your counterpart. Now, that's what this journey has been about. It has been about inner union. And I want to talk to you a moment about inner union before I get into more of this. Okay. Inner union. I'm going to read a message that I posted on Instagram and Facebook a while ago. I think it's also on my YouTube channel, my predominant YouTube channel's community page. So do make sure that you're subscribed to both channels if you want to keep updated on all of these readings. So what I said is, what is inner union? The soul longs to know itself and find itself in its wholeness as one with the universe. The process of coming into sacred union with the self, or inner union, occurs when you begin to release any templates of separation that keep you from recognizing that you are already one with the universe and always has been. And this calls to the reading that I had done, You Are Always in Union. It was a Sacred Union Energy Update for Divine Counterparts. You are always in union. It's just the separation. You are always in union. Union is not a destination that you reach or you attain. You are always in union. What you're doing on this journey is releasing the illusions or anywhere where you feel that separateness. You're releasing anywhere where you don't believe or feel that you are in union already. So while intellectually you may already know this, as you embark on the journey of ascension, you begin to experience the feeling, the anchoring in, and the embodiment of this universal truth. One stage of this process is acknowledging your desires. I want to be loved. I want to experience magic, for example. This is the soul self calling out and longing to remember that you already are love, that you already are divine magic. So when you admit these desires to yourself, it triggers the next level of ascension, where you begin to consciously release any of the old mindsets, templates, and conditioning that made you believe you were anything less than love and magic in the first place. And this is what the catalyst of meeting your divine counterpart was. This is what they triggered within you. They triggered within you the longing to recognize love within yourself, union within yourself, to remove any of the templates of separation. Put simply, it's your soul aligning with the truth of itself in oneness versus the illusion of separation consciousness. The more you release these subconscious blocks to the love and unity within yourself, the more you begin to anchor in the feeling of I am. That's that shift that you felt over the past several weeks, the I am energy. I amness. I am in this new energy. I am in this new consciousness. I am love. I am magic. I am divine. I am one with source. I am one with my counterpart. I am one with all. So the more you anchor in this feeling of I am, the more you begin to embody that higher consciousness. I am love. I am magic. I am divine. This has a ripple effect on your life experience as you're embodying the energy of unconditional love and openly giving that love in your truest authentic form. And again, you don't have to be doing anything but just being in the energy of love. You don't have to read cards. You don't have to have spiritual practices. You don't have to be doing anything but embodying your truest, most authentic self and going out into the world with that higher energy consciousness. Embodying love. That is how you change the world. What you choose to do as far as career, as far as mission, as far as, hobbies, as far as expression of yourself, whether that's art or writing or creation, whatever it is, that is just the expression of the embodiment of who you are. Your mission already is to be the love of who you are. You're already doing that by embodying love. That is your mission. And then your mission can be something else that's physical. It could be service to others. Doctors and nurses and, whatever it is, but your true mission is, as that light worker, is to embody that love, is to embody that higher vibration. That is your true mission. Okay. As you're embodying the energy of unconditional love and openly giving that love in your truest authentic form, that love comes back to you tenfold because you're an open vessel able to give and receive in equal harmony. This is the lesson the universe is trying to bring us. Be the love. Be the magic. Let that flow through you without expectations of how or where it's received by others or if it will ever be returned. Unconditional love. Very hard for us to understand because previously love has always had conditions. We have been programmed to believe that love has conditions. As soon as you release those expectations and you recognize the love and magic within yourself, that floods into your life in every moment, in every instance, in everything. Love is the universe wanting to return home to you. As soon as you fully recognize yourself as love, you recognize your oneness with all of the universe. Okay, that being said, there has been a shift, especially for those who are part of the sacred partnership collective. Again, twin flames, soulmates, twin souls, sacred partners, whatever you want to call it. We have been releasing the journey as a whole. Again, the journey was a beautiful catalyst. A lot of us, especially as divine feminines, we were consciously aware of the label and of the journey when we met our sacred partners. And so that was what made us do the healing work. That was a catalyst for us to dive deep within ourselves and begin the shift, begin the change towards our sacred union, towards our union within ourselves, to grow and evolve within ourselves, to shift our mindsets, to shift out of old patterns and habits, especially when it comes to relationships and love, especially when it comes to relationship and love with ourselves. This is our empowerment. We have learned about the power we hold within ourselves, trusting our intuition, trusting our connection with Source, trusting our connection with ourselves. They're reminding me now to know yourself. This is what we've been channeling for the past several months. Know yourself. The more you know yourself, the more there is to know. The more you know yourself, the more awareness you have of the world around you. The more you're able to connect with Source, the more you're able to connect to others, the more you're able to deepen your understanding. Again, the more we think we know, the more there is to know. That's the beauty of this universe. There is so much to learn, to understand. But the more you know yourself, the deeper you go within, the more is revealed. And so, for a lot, especially for divine feminines, I'm going to be speaking to you specifically because a lot of divine masculines, while they felt that connection with the divine feminine, while they, I want to say this, so when I'm saying divine masculine, divine feminine, I'm talking about sacred partners. I'm talking about those who are embodying both sacred feminine and sacred masculine energies, coming together as the whole. But you have both energies. If you're not in sacred partnership, it does not mean you're not whole. It does not mean you're not whole at all. Sacred partners are just one path to ascension. Okay? Twin flames are just one path to ascension. Release the label. You are not lacking if that is not your path, if that is not your journey. You are not on the path to ascension if that is not your journey. It's just one path up the mountain, and everybody is different. Even if you're part of the Sacred Union Collective, every path looks a little bit different. Okay, so divine masculines they felt the connection, but they weren't as conscious of it as the divine feminine. And so the divine feminines really went first in becoming conscious of it, becoming awakened to it, and doing the active healing. That does not mean the divine masculines were not doing the healing. They were on an energetic level. But the divine feminines were doing the active healing, wherein they were learning, they were reading, they were connecting more fully to their higher power, to their higher self, to source energy itself. They were much more conscious. Divine masculine, divine feminine, the feminine energy leads the way because she is the one that is connected, fully connected to source. The divine masculine energy is the one that really grounds that energy. And I channeled this a long, long time ago. One of my very first readings, the feminine energy. And again, you have both within you. Remember, you have both energies within you, whether you are a divine feminine or a divine masculine. You have both energies within you. The masculine energy within you, divine feminine, is your divine masculine. The feminine energy within you, divine masculine, is your divine feminine. You're doing this together as two individual beings, incarnated here into the physical plane. You are the same energy, the same soul, just split into two bodies. Okay? So let's understand that first. But what has happened is, where was I? The masculine principle is situated in like the lower chakras, the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus chakra. They are the grounding force. They are the creative force in that they really ground the energy, they lead the energy, they root the energy into the physical plane. The feminine energies are the higher chakras, the crown chakra, the brow chakra, the throat chakra, connected to intuition, connected to directly to source energy, connected to the throat chakra, which is expression. What happens when you come into union is the feminine energy brings the connection down, brings the energy of source down, into intuition, into expression, allowing the love and energy to flow. And it's all love energy. It is all love energy because source is love energy. Allowing it to flow into the heart chakra. The masculine energy then grounds it, rising up through the lower chakras, meeting at the bridge of the heart. And we had channeled that a long time ago. At the very beginning, 3 years ago. That's where you meet. Meet me on the bridge of the heart. In the heart chakra. And from the heart chakra, that heart chakra expanding and opening and activating, ripples out, has a ripple effect on the world to shift the paradigm. Okay. So, I know for some of you who've been with me for a while, we've talked about this a lot, but I'm being called to cover all the bases here. So, you have been on this journey, and it has been difficult because what has it been doing? It has been triggering you. It has been opening you up. It has been forcing you to look at yourself and face yourself. Just recently when I was on my trip, I was reconnected with Michael Jackson's The Man in the Mirror. Amazing song. I never fully appreciated it before, but that's exactly what we're doing. We are facing the man in the mirror. And when you're with your sacred partner, you're looking at reflection of yourself. Sometimes it's a catalyst to show you where you need to stand up for yourself, where you need to set healthy boundaries, where you need to push yourself more to take action, or where you need to step back into the flow of life rather than controlling it. Everything is an opportunity and an experience for learning and growth. And recognizing your self-empowerment, recognizing where you need to communicate, where you need to express, where you need to be in the energy of love, and not settling for anything less. You have been removing programs of people-pleasing, self-sacrifice, suppression, repression, oppression, holding yourself down, which is all of those things. It is the energy of enlightenment. It is the energy of opening up. It is the energy of being who you truly, truly are in your full truth, in your full authenticity. It is embodiment. Seeing some orbs here on my left side here. So, these past few months, you have been coming into inner union. And as you come into inner union, you recognize the journey of what you knew, which is looking at your counterpart outside of yourself, is coming to an end. You have been releasing the journey thus far. This journey has been difficult. It has been challenging because facing yourself is challenging. Really diving deep and facing yourself is very, very difficult. But that's the journey that you've been on. That is what Ascension is all about, diving deeper and deeper and deeper to bring up all of that, what I like to call soul sludge, all of that dense energy, patterns, habits, addictions, programmings that you have maybe tried to hide from yourself because it felt safer, because it felt more comfortable, because the ego didn't want you to face yourself trying to protect you, when your soul has been longing to free yourself from that programming, from that conditioning. A lot of that soul sludge comes from trauma or heartbreak or pain that we experienced in early childhood especially. So a lot of inner child healing you've been doing as well, past lifetimes as well. So you've been releasing the journey. And when I say you've been releasing the journey, is you have been releasing, putting that pressure on your counterpart, recognizing that it's all within you. Now, that's not to say that you're taking the blame. Any place where there was improper or poor behavior that your counterpart was displaying, you don't take the blame for it. You don't put that responsibility on your shoulders. You release that responsibility for all by taking accountability for, okay, where do I play a part here in this pattern and how do I shift it? And part of that is saying, I'm not going to allow that behavior anymore. Part of that is having healthy boundaries. So there's a real balance that was happening here where it's like, you're not taking the blame. Yes, there is a mirror. Yes, your counterpart is showing you something about yourself, but that could be either contrast or that can be similarities. So it's up to you to use your use your discernment and determine whether or not they're showing you, okay, this is where I need to have a more healthy boundary, and say, this is not what I deserve, this is not what I'm settling for, or where you need to stand up for yourself, or where you need to just shift out of energy within yourself and take ownership and accountability. It's going to be different with every scenario, with every situation that you face, with every trigger that you face. So the mirror is not always, showing you, oh my God, this is horrible, horrible flaw within myself, I have to change this. No, sometimes it's just, this is where I need to step up. This is where I need to rise to my true empowerment. This is where I need to set healthy boundaries and say, nope, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I'm not settling for this anymore. This energy, this behavior, this lower vibration, because I have shifted, because I'm more aware now. That awareness is your greatest gift. So you're releasing the journey as a whole. And I've talked about this in a couple of readings. I'm going to put links in the description box below, because they're not having me go deep into this right now. This is a little bit of a different reading than I anticipated. So we've already talked about all this. I'll put it in the description box below. But what you're doing is you are releasing the journey as you knew it, because you have been so holding on to it so tightly that it was containing you. It was keeping you in this container of a loop, keeping you in this pattern of looking outside of yourself, when really you had to go within and find that balance within yourself. Your person, your counterpart, really pushed you to do that, to find that security, that masculine energy within yourself, to allow that to become divine. And guess what? You're going to start seeing that in your counterpart. And if it's not the person that you originally thought, if some of you are moving to soul connections, it's still a conscious masculine energy, still a divine masculine energy that is coming into your field, into your life experience. But it's because you're in alignment with conscious, divine, masculine energy within. That safety, that security, finding that within, that's when you align it without. But you had to release the journey of what you knew thus far. You had to even release your person and the energy that they were in, the version that you saw of them previously. Now, on this journey, especially divine feminines, we've always seen our divine masculines as past, present, and future. We've always seen them as, especially past lifetimes, we saw who they were. We saw who they are now, which we had to accept the now moment, and we saw who they could be as a divine masculine. But a lot of divine feminines got very caught up in that potential without accepting the present moment. The more you accept the present masculine within yourself and heal that masculine within yourself, the more it becomes divine, the more it becomes conscious, the more you see that reflected in your counterpart, in that other embodiment. And so you had to release the pressure on them. You had to release the responsibility on them. You had to pull back your energy on them and focus it back on yourself. And that's what a lot of divine feminines were doing these last several months. Saying, I'm letting the connection go. I'm letting the journey go as a whole. I'm just going to create my best and highest timeline, because I'm recognizing that I love myself so much. So I'm going for my dreams. I'm building my businesses. I am creating my projects. I am traveling. I am socializing with friends. For some of you, you were even dating. This was you living your best life. And guess what? That raised your vibrations and shifted your energy and released the pressure, the container that this journey had been in for so long. That's why it's called Journey's End, because one phase of your journey had to be completely released, and you had to detach or unattach from your divine counterpart, either energetically or physically in some way, shape, or form. Some of you, there were breakups. Some of you, there were separations. Some of you, there was energetic detachments. Whatever it was so that you could put the focus back on yourself. And guess what? While you were doing that, your person or another conscious masculine was rising, because they weren't feeling the container. They weren't feeling the rigidity, the pressure, the hold that the journey had on them. Because the journey is meant to flow. The journey is meant to unfold. This has all been a process. Do we see this? This has all been a beautiful process of being in the flow of life, letting the universe flow through us and just letting ourselves be, embodying that higher consciousness, embodying that higher love without needing, without expectations, without worrying about the uncertainty, because we know that no matter what, what is in alignment to us and that higher consciousness will be here. And so we had to release the journey. The journey as we knew it came to an end. But with that ending comes a new beginning, and that's where we are. We have been shifting timelines into new, higher timelines because of this energy. And sometimes it might feel like we're being pulled back into old energy, but that's just the leveling up. That's just the revisiting of old energy so that we can see the transformation and continue to clear out anything that might still be there, any soul sludge or subconscious blocks that might still be there, that might still need some tweaking. That doesn't mean that's who we are anymore. That is the shift. I want to talk about Leonardo da Vinci for a minute here. A couple of months ago, I brought forth a channeling about Leonardo da Vinci that is in the description box below. It was one of the most powerful readings I have ever done, the most powerful channelings I've ever done, because I pulled a card that was just completely not connected. And immediately the channeling came in. I don't even use the cards in half of my readings anymore with clients because it's just direct channeling. It was a very powerful reading where they said that the things that we thought we knew is going to be unfolding into greater awareness and greater knowledge. And they brought forth the energy of Da Vinci, Tesla, there were more. Newton, I think, was there. It was all these energies of people who had shown us new ways of being, new ways of living. And they said we have barely scratched the surface. So there are two messages there. The first message was that in this lifetime, we're going to be revisiting Tesla's teachings, Da Vinci's teachings, like their books, you know, their inventions, and seeing that there is more. So, for example, Da Vinci brought us the workings of the plane and the workings of the body. We're going to see that there's so much more in his teachings that we're not yet aware of. It's going to start coming to light. That's going to help us build new earth. It's going to help us continue to ascend because we are shifting consciousness, because we are shifting our vibration and shifting our energy. The planet as a whole and its environment, the physical environment in which we live in this human experience is going to be shifting. We're already seeing the dismantling of systems. They're saying the patriarchy, but I don't want to say the patriarchy as in an energy, the patriarchy as in control, greed, corruption, manipulation. That's shifting. And any system, education, pharmaceuticals, insurance, any system that is hinging on those, for lack of a better word, those principles, those distorted principles, is crumbling down. Kali Ma has come forth in the past few readings I've done on my channel to assure us that destruction is imminent. But Kali Ma is a powerful feminine force. She does not destroy just for destruction's sake. She destroys for creation, and that's what we're seeing. She is the tower moment that is coming in to help support the rebuilding and the creation. So if it feels like this is happening in your individual life, or if you're seeing chaos in the world around you, which there is so much chaos that is happening right now, hold the light, be the light, anchor into that higher consciousness, anchor into the love of who you are, that expression of self, that expression of love. Hold that vibration. As we channeled a couple of weeks ago, we're seeing a cyclone. You are in the middle of that cyclone, being the calm within the storm. We're seeing so much destruction, but there's going to be creation from that destruction. So what they're saying is, what's being created, we're going to be returning back to those ascended masters. They're ascended masters in their own right. Tesla, Newton, Galileo, Da Vinci. They were ascended masters who channeled this information. And we were only able to take the information that they channeled and apply it based on where we were in an evolutionary stance. But now that we are evolving even more, now that we are ascending even more and shifting even more into higher consciousness, we're able to look at those teachings and apply those in new ways that are going to assist the evolution further of this planet. So that's one message. That's a physical change that we're going to be seeing in this world. I'm not quite entirely sure what that means, but it is going to be the way we view the human body. It's going to be transportation. They just brought intergalactic travel. So I'm actually hearing a message of this, the rockets and stuff that they're building now. It's going to be like, why are we even doing that? Because there's so much more that's coming in. It's almost like that's a foundation that's needed, but to understand more. But okay, Spirit's just laughing at that. So we're gonna go on. Spirit's just laughing at what we've kind of done with that. But there's going to be more. There's going to be more. We're going to be putting in, because of our understandings, we're going to be putting in more in place that is tied to unity consciousness. And the understandings and teachings and channelings that came in from masters in the past, we're going to be revisiting them to help us plant those seeds and create and build in a new light, in a higher vibration, in a higher way. So I don't have much more on that, what that means. I'm sure we're going to get more. They are calling me to the new Lemuria. So do check out the channeled reading. I'll link that again below. There's going to be a lot of links below because this is the first video on my new channel. Make sure again that you're subscribed over there so you don't miss anything. I'm going to link the new Lemuria video there as well. So make sure that you check all these out if you've missed any of these. So the second message with Leonardo da Vinci is not just in our physical world, but it's the energy of deeper understandings of ourselves. So again, the more we think we know, the more there is to know. So you don't just awaken once. Ascension is a process. Awakening is a process. And so the more awareness we have of ourselves, the more we're willing to go deep within ourselves and understand ourselves, the more we're going to understand the world around us, the more we're going to understand our connection to God, the more we're going to understand our connection to ourselves. So this has a ripple effect. So there's going to be deeper and deeper understandings of yourself as a multidimensional being. You are a soul being. You are not confined to this time and space. That is what consciousness is. A shift in dimension is simply a shift in consciousness. And the more you shift in consciousness, the more you shift dimension. You are not limited. That is an old paradigm. That is a false construct. You are not limited. Consciousness is expansive. Consciousness is infinite. You are not limited. And so they're reminding you that you are going to be learning more about yourself and expanding. And that evolution is not just happening on the planet in the physical, but it's going to be happening within your own consciousness as well. So allow the journey to change. Allow yourself to change. Allow your counterpart to change, because you and your counterpart are going to be coming in to this beautiful divine love. It's not just about the relationship. That will be part of it in your physical reality as your physical experience. But on a higher level, energetically, it is about what you are creating together. It is about your expansive, limitless potential. And that only happens when you're tapped into the energy of love and just allowing yourselves to express love to yourself, to each other, and to the world as a whole. From that love for each other, from the love that you have with each other, you allow love to expand. But if you're holding back love for yourself, if you're holding back love for your counterpart, then you're just holding back love for the world. That's the expansive nature, or constrictive nature if you choose, of love. So allow yourself to expand in love, because your journey is about to grow. You're about to level up. You're about to shift into the brand new. This is a brand new beginning. And they're reminding me of the 8-8 portal. This is a massive influx of energy that is going to be coming in, that is going to push us and assist us into the new year, where there is going to be so much more that is coming. They're giving me just a briefest glimpse. This is balancing energy. This is partnership energy coming in 2022. This is all about recognizing the non-duality, recognizing oneness. Wow. Okay. All right, you guys, they're pulling back. That feels like the end of this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. We're going to be doing more readings like this. I'm going to be pulling some cards to kind of focus the energy, but this is going to be a place, a sacred space for channel messages on Ascension, sacred partners, just like this. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sending you guys so much love, so much light, and we'll see you soon. Bye.